Hello, my beautiful kings and queens, and welcome to the Wicked Exposed channel, where I am your divine intuitive messenger, Empress J, here to deliver to you another intuitive message from Spirit. To those of you who are new here to the channel, welcome, welcome. Over here, we sugarcoat nothing when it comes to these intuitive messages. Why? Because Spirit wants you to get all the smoke when it comes to these wicked energies. And to my returning Soul Tribe members, welcome back, my loves, once again as we kick our way through these wicked tarot streets. Out here on the table, my loves, we already have our 2 rows of energy. Our first row of energy consists of our current energy. Keep in mind, my loves, that these current energies you're about to be tuned into may be past, present, or future. So you have to apply these energies in the time frame of which they resonate with you. Followed by these current energies, my love, or our second row of energies that's going to clarify these current energies. All right? Keep in mind, my loves, I've already prayed and meditated with the divine over these energies. I've also welcomed in my lovely, holy, and spiritual angels, along with my lovely, holy, and spiritual ancestors who exceeds my serenity. So we're all tuned in and ready to deliver what Spirit wants you to know at this moment in time. All right? So out here on the table, my loves, when it comes to these current energies, right? Spirit's already bringing to the forefront, right? This wicked bastard here, right? This wicked bastard here who wanted to curse the hell out of your life, right? This wicked bastard here who wanted to curse the hell out of your life, right? Because this person, right, who wanted to curse your life, right? This person was in malevolence energy when it comes to you, right? Having nothing but evil intentions, right? Having nothing but evil intentions when it comes to you, right? So this person could have been, wishing harm, wishing evil, wishing some evilness on you, wishing some consistent evilness on you, or they could have been playing with some type of supernatural spell work to cause you harm, right? Because this person's motive, right, who want to curse you, who want to curse your life, right? This bastard who want to curse your life, right? This person's motive, right? This energy's motive, right, was to put either another energy or a few energies, right, in some type of dilemma, right, of having a choice, right, of having a choice. And I feel like it's between you and this wicked ass person who want to curse your life, right? Their motive, this person who want to curse your life, their motive was to either put another energy or a few energies, right, in some type of dilemma, right, by way of spell work as well, right, to have a choice, right? And I feel like it's between you and this person who want to curse your life, right? And what's going to end up happening here is this person who want to curse your life, right? They're going to end up getting a backfire, right? With what they wanted, with what they wanted for you, right? They're going to end up getting a backfire with it, right? Because everything, when it comes to this second energy card, current energy card, right? Everything they tried to curse, right? Everything this wicked bastard tried to curse for you, right? Gonna land you in what? The water, right? Gonna land you in the water of having nothing but an overflow in, right? So here you go with an overflow in resources, an overflow in wealth, an overflow in nothing but opportunities, right? And that's what the wicked bastard get who tried to curse your life, right? That's what the wicked bastard get for trying to curse your life, right? And giving you nothing but a overflow, right? Of whatever they tried to curse, right? Because when it comes to you, collective, right? All right, this energy card of adventure, right? This is you, right? This energy card of adventure, right? That's in the reverse, right? When it comes to this person, right? When it comes to this person who want to curse your life, right? And the other energy or energies, right? That this person who want to curse your life, right? Put in dilemma of having a choice when it comes to you, right? This was unknown to them, right? This was unknown to them, right? That you would go on some type of adventure, right? Pertaining to things of the unknown, right? This was unknown to this wicked bastard, right? That want to curse your life. And this other energy or these other energies, right? This was unknown to them that you would want to take on this adventure pertaining to like things of the unknown, right? This person and this other energy or these other energies, right? They didn't see this coming, right? That you would have, the courage of wanting to do something like this, right? Because when it comes to whatever type of adventure this is, right? That you could have been, working on behind the scenes, trying to have a success with, right? This type of adventure could take a lot of courage to do, right? It could be considered, could be considered like something dangerous, right? And so it could take like, a lot of courage to do whatever this adventure is that you're doing, right? And so, right? And so as far as thrill goes, right? Right? What may be a thrill to some, right? Such as you, right? Who don't mind, taking on the challenge, right? Who you could be the type of person don't mind taking on the challenge of the unknown, right? This could like this unknown adventure, right? This could be like a some kind of like thrill for you, right? This, not knowing what to expect, not knowing what's about to happen, not knowing what you about to see, right? This type of adventure that you're doing, right? And gonna have a success with it, by the way, right? This type of adventure you're doing, right? This could like get your adrenaline going, right? This could like get your adrenaline going, right? Right? Not knowing what to expect with this adventure you're on, this could like get your adrenaline going, right? And to others, right? With this adventure that you're on, right? To others, they might not consider, this adventure that you on, a thrill, right? Some people don't like not knowing what to expect when it comes to the unknown, right? This might not thrill others, right? So what may be a thrill for you may not thrill others when it comes to this adventure, right? And so, being that you collective was behind the scenes, right? Right? Trying to get this adventure off to a success, right? These people didn't know what you had going on, right? These people didn't know what you had going on, right? This person, especially this wicked ass person, right? They thought they had you. They thought they had you down on your luck when it comes to you when it comes to you not knowing where your life was headed to, because they thought they had this curse going in their favor, right? So especially that wicked bastard, right? And so, but you were behind the scenes scribing for something, you were behind the scenes, right? Scribing to have a success with this adventure, right? And when it comes to this adventure, right? This adventure that you're on, right? You have to stay, right? This fourth energy card says diligent, right? This adventure that you were on, right? That this person, this wicked bastard who didn't want you to have a success at nothing. That's why they were trying to, do all these wicked things, right? This adventure that you was working on behind the scenes, right? You have to stay diligent and focus on, what's at hand, right? Right? You have to stay diligent and focus on what's at hand. And so that's what you were doing, right? Staying diligent and focusing on what was at hand when it comes to this adventure, right? And so speaking on what's at hand, right? Speaking on what's at hand, right? When it comes to, you staying diligent and focused, on this adventure, right? I have to be like, I have to be careful, right? How I bring out the content on this last energy card, right? All right. So when it comes to this, when it comes to this last energy card, right? Like I said, you have to when it comes to this adventure you on, you have to stay diligent and focus on what's at hand, right? And so speaking on what's at hand for you, right? Speaking on what's at hand for you, right? On this energy card says breakthrough and vision, right? So this is what I feel like, right, could have happened when it comes to you in this adventure, right? I feel like Spirit showed you something, right, in a vision, right? Because vision is on this card, right? Spirit showed you something in a vision, right? And maybe you couldn't quite grasp what this vision was indicating to you. Maybe you couldn't quite grasp what this vision was indicating to you. You could have even asked vision. You could have even asked Spirit, right, to show you, some type of sign as to what this vision was indicating or trying to indicate to you, right? And I feel like how you got your breakthrough, right? How you got your breakthrough when it comes to this vision, right? The spirit was showing you, right? How you got your breakthrough. I feel like whatever spirit showing you in this vision, right? Whatever spirit showing you in the spiritual realm when it comes to this vision, right, is gonna be the exact same way you see it in the physical. If you get what I'm saying, whatever spirit showed you in this vision, right? I feel like you gonna see it in the physical. And that's how you're going to get your breakthrough with what this vision was indicating, right? Which going to put this person on the bottom of the deck when it comes to these current energies, right? Which going to put this person on the bottom of the deck under a lot of pressure, right? The discomfort, right? What's putting this person on the bottom of the deck under a lot of pressure, right? The discomfort of you discovering, right? The discomfort of you discovering who was the cause of a certain person's pain, right? The discomfort of you, collective, right, that had this vision, that spirit showed something in the vision, right? The discomfort of you, right, knowing who caused a person's pain, right? Because see, what you could have discovered, right, from this vision, and you done came across it in the physical, right? What you done discovered, right? It could have took a long time, right? It could have took a long time to discover whatever this is, right? Right? It could have took a long time to discover this, right? And so this person on the bottom of the deck, right? Maybe this person has gotten older, right? Maybe this person has gotten older. Maybe it did take a long time to discover whatever this vision has shown you, and you done, seen it in the physical. Maybe it did take a long time. Maybe this person done got older, right? Right? That's how long it took. Or they having so much anxiety, right? Or what you done discover is giving them so much anxiety, right? That they starting to look old as fuck, right? Because all this anxiety of you discovering what took so long to get revealed, right? Maybe this anxiety got them looking old, right? One way or the other, right? One way or the other, right? This person looking worried to damn death, right? Because of whatever this is, right? That you done discovered, right? That's what's giving this person anxiety, right? That's what's giving this person on the bottom of the deck anxiety, right? Because as we head down here to the next row of energies, right? To clarify these current energies, right? This card here says meeting, right? Right? So there was some type of meeting, right? There was some type of meeting. If you look on this card, right? There was some type of meeting, right? And it looked like it could have been at a company workplace, right? There was some type of meeting. It looked like it could have been at a company workplace, right? Maybe you and this person who want to curse the hell out of your life, right? Maybe both of y'all worked at this company, right? At this company workplace, right? And they were having a meeting, right? And these group of people was having a meeting, right? This meeting could have been in regards to you, right? And maybe the person who wanted to curse your life. Maybe this meeting was about the both of y'all, right? Maybe this meeting was about the both of y'all, right? And so I feel like when it comes to this meeting, right? This person that wanted to curse your life, right? I feel like this person who wanted to curse your life, right, was trying to was in malevolence energy, right? Of trying to I feel like this person was trying to put something off on you in this meeting, right? Right? I feel like this person was trying to put something off on you, put some type of wickedness off on you, right? When they was during the time when they was in this malevolence energy, I feel like they was trying to, use the supernatural spell work, right? To put some type of wickedness off on you, right? And whatever this person could have been, indicating to these people, right? In a form of wickedness when it comes to you, right? But is what put them in dilemma, right? Of having a choice, right? of having a choice, right? When it comes to you and this person, right? You and this wicked ass person about something, right? Right? And evidently, right? What this what this person, what this wicked bastard, could have been saying, right? They could have been saying something about you in this meeting or something, right? What this wicked bastard could have been, trying to pinpoint or put off on you, right? It must have convinced these people, right? It put them in a dilemma, of having a choice about you and this person, I feel like. So it must have, it must have convinced these people, right, that you could have done something, right? That you could have done something, right? This person, with playing with this spell work, yeah, made these people, convince these people, right? That this could have been you who could have did something, right? And maybe they got rid of you once they had this meeting. Maybe they got rid of you at this company or something. Maybe they got rid of you, right? Or you was definitely on the suspect of doing something, right? You were definitely on the suspect of doing something or something, right? And so once this person, right, once this wicked ass person, right, that cursed your life, right, they want to curse your life, right, could have been at this meeting, right? And they came to a conclusion. Maybe they came to a conclusion that it was you, right? This wicked bastard, right? Start looking on social media, right, to see, if they spell work had did a lot of damage, right? If this spell work they were using on you had did a lot of damage, right? Right, and they gonna soon discover, right, that spell work, that curse they was trying to do for you, right, ain't do nothing, right? Ain't do nothing but laying you in the water, right? But laying you in the water, right? Of resources, wealth, and opportunities, right? They gonna soon discover when they look on social media and see how good you doing, right? They gonna soon discover what this spell work did, put you in an overflow of blessings, and that's what the fuck this person get, right? Right? Because when it comes to you, right? When it comes to you and these new opportunities, right? And resources and wealth and things, right? You, right? This adventure, right? This adventure this adventure that they didn't, that this wicked bastard didn't know, and this other energy or these groups of people didn't know, right? Was that this what this adventure was, right? Was you going into the field of homicide. Yeah. That's what they didn't know and didn't see coming with you, that you had the courage of wanting to go into the field of homicide, working with homicide. You go, boo. You go, boo. Yeah, you gotta have courage you gotta have courage to be in this type of work field. Yeah. Homicide, cause homicide, this type of work field, you see with the knife and stuff like that. This type of work field, could be considered dangerous, right? Could be considered dangerous, right? And see these folks, this wicked person and this other energy or these group of people, right? They didn't see this coming, that you would have this type of courage of wanting to take on this adventure of working with homicide. You go, boo. Okay. So, like I said, what thrill some, such as you, right, who don't mind taking on the challenge of, this type of field, right, working with homicide. This type of field, this type of adventure could get, like I said, get your adrenaline going, right? Not knowing what to expect, not knowing what you're going to see, not knowing what you're going to come across, right? Yeah, so that's what this adventure. And so being that you, got this, started working with homicide, right? Being that you started working in the field of homicide, right? What this adventure gonna land you to is like a desert like place, right? What this adventure gonna land you at is like a desert. This could be a desert or a dry like area, right? Or a dry like area where there's not a lot going on, right? Not a lot of cars come. This could be, a very hot place, right? or just, you know, it's not really known by a lot of people, right? It could be like a real, it could be like a real dry, hot place where this adventure gonna land you at. This could be like a desert, or this area could feel like a desert. It could be real hot. It could be not a lot of traffic, not a lot going on in this area. It's just dry, hot and dry, and you know nothing there, but maybe animals or something. You not much to see. Whatever this desert like place is, right? Right? Whatever this desert like place is, right? And you know, collective, that's that's where that's where this vision, right? The spirit was trying to show you, that's where you gonna come across this vision in the physical. That's where this vision gonna lead you, right? This vision gonna lead you to this area, right? Like I said, which could be a desert, or it could be, you know, a very dry, concluded area where not a lot of going on, right? Very hot and things, right? This vision gonna lead you to this desert, right? And how you gonna get your breakthrough, right? Whatever, like I said, whatever you saw in the vision, right? Whatever you saw in the vision, you gonna see in this desert or this dry like area, right? Which is this male. This is who you gonna discover in this desert or this dry like area, where this secluded like dry hot like area. You gonna discover this male, right? You gonna discover who this male is that's in this desert. And I feel like this male, right? I feel like this is a deceased male. Since you working, you know, in the field of homicide, I feel like this male is deceased that you gonna discover, right? This is a deceased male, right? And it could take a long time for, you know, you to discover where this male was, right? It could take a long time for you to discover where this male was, right? Or who this male is, where this male was, right? Where this male was at, right? And you can discover, right, this male, or this could be a female. This could be a female as well. You have to apply that energy card. This could be a male you can discover in this dry light area, or a female, right? Either one, right? Either energy, you know? This could be a male or a female you can discover in this dry light area, right? And that's what's putting, right? That's what's putting this person under pressure, right? You didn't discover, right, this male or this female in this dry light area, right? And that's what's putting this person here under pressure, right? Because this person had something to do with who you discovered in this desert or this dry light area. This person is under pressure because they had something to do with who you discovered in this desert or this dry light area, right? This person is having all this anxiety is the cause, right? It's either the cause of this person being out here deceased in this desert or this dry light area, or they know who is the cause of this person being out here deceased in this desert or this dry light area, right? So let's get ready to get into the tarot, right? To get what caused this person, right? What caused this wicked bastard right here, right? To want to curse the hell out of your life, right? To want to curse the hell out of your life so much, right? And they, you know, what caused this person to want to curse the hell out of your life so much, right? Because they was in malevolence energy, right? With you, right? They could have been in malevolence energy with you for a while, right? Wishing wickedness on you and or playing with some type of spell work to cause you harm, right? And we're gonna get what caused this person, right, to want to curse the hell out of your life so much, right? Oh, see, because at this meeting, right, bottom of the deck when it comes to the tarot, right, at this meeting, this person was gossiping about you. This person was gossiping about you, right? When they had this meeting, right? This person was gossiping about you, and we already know gossip is a supernatural form of spell work, right? So this person was at this meeting gossiping about you amongst this group of people, right? To put them in dilemma of having a choice when it comes to you. And more than likely, this person who want to curse the hell out of your life, right? Right? This wicked bastard, right? Put these energies that was at this meeting in dilemma, right? Of having a choice when it comes, I feel like when it comes to you and this person who want to curse your life, right? And you collective, right, could be this very intuitive person, right? You collective, right, that's working in this field of homicide could be this very intuitive person. That's why, you win in this type of field, because you very intuitive when it comes to knowing things, right? That's why you win in this field of homicide, right? So we gonna get ready to get into the tarot. And this wicked person that wanted to curse your life thought, but thinking they were gonna play you for a fool, right? And they soon found the fuck out, didn't they? They soon found the fuck out, right? You ain't to be played with, right? Not you working in homicide. Not you working in this field of homicide. You ain't to be played with, baby. You on your shit, right? Alright, so we gonna get into the terrible. Right? Holy Spirit, I need an energy card, please, when it comes to this situation with this person who started working in the field of homicide, right? And this wicked energy, right? Want to curse the hell out of this person's life, right? We're gonna get what caused this person to get in this malevolence energy of wanting to curse the collective life so much, right? I need it. Energy card, please. Let me wake up at that. Alright, I need an energy card, please. Waiting for Spirit to give me an energy card, please, to get the cause of this curse, right? From this wicked bastard, right? Okay. We had a couple of cards, right? Okay. So when it comes to this curse, right? When it comes to this wicked bastard, right? That want to curse the hell out of your life, right? It's only a matter of time, right? It's only a matter of time, right? For this wicked person, right? It's only a matter of time, right? For this wicked person, right? It's only a matter of time, right? For something come out, right? It's only a matter of time, right? For something come out about the person who wanted to curse your life, right? It's only a matter of time before something comes out about this person that wanted to curse your life, right? And this fake karmic attachment, right? It's only a matter of time for something comes out, right? It's only a matter of time for something comes out about this person who wanted to curse your life, right? And this fake karmic attachment. It's only a matter of time, right? For something comes out about this person that wanted to curse your life, right? And this fake karmic attachment, right? Who could have both been at this meeting, right? Because on the bottom of the deck, one of these two need a job that's lazy, right? On the bottom of the deck, right? So it's only a matter of time, right? Before something comes out about the energy that want to curse your life, right? And this fake karmic attachment, right? It could have been the cause of something, right? So it's only a matter of time before something comes out about this energy who want to curse your life, right? And that okay, it's only a matter of time before something comes out about this person that wanted to curse your life, right? And this fake karmic attachment that this person could have been dealing with, right? Okay, it's only a matter of time before, yeah, this person who wanted to curse your life, right? Okay, it's only a matter of time before this get discovered, right? The person who want to curse your life, right? The person who wanted to curse your life was this fake karmic attachment, right? Who was fighting over you, right? Who was fighting over you, right? Who done got in the water, right? Who was fighting over you, who done, got in the water, right? Of having resources, wealth, and opportunities, right? This fake karmic attachment was fighting over you. Okay, yeah, this fake karmic attachment. Okay, wait, let me back up. Okay, it's only a matter of time for something gets something gets revealed about the person who wanted to curse your life was dealing with this fake karmic attachment, right? You okay, the person who wanted to curse you, it's only a matter of time, right? Something gets discovered about this person who want to curse your life, right? Having something to do with this fake karmic attachment, right? Okay, so these two people, right? This person who wanted to curse your life and this fake karmic attachment was fighting over you who is in the water, right? Who is in the water and having this wealth, and you who is in the water and having this overflow of wealth and opportunities and resources, right? This person who wanted to curse your life and this fake karmic attachment, right? These two were fighting over you. Who done got in the water of having an overflow in resources, wealth, and opportunities, right? Because, they didn't know you was going on this adventure, right? They didn't know you was going on this adventure when it comes to the unknown, right? And neither one of these two, this person who wanted to curse your life, nor the fake karmic attachment, right? Didn't see this coming that you would, have the courage of, wanting to, take on this adventure, right? Till like one of these two start gossiping about you, right? Till one of these two start gossiping about having like some type of thrill going on with you, right? So one of these two, this person who wanted to curse your life or this fake karmic attachment, right, started gossiping about how they was having such a thrill with you, right, on this adventure, right? Which could have been on this adventure, right? And the whole time you were staying diligent and focusing on what's at hand when it comes to this um adventure, right? So you didn't even know, right? This was unknown to you, that this person was gossiping about having some type of thrill with you, because you were staying focused on what was at hand, which was this adventure that you had started with homicide, right? And so, and so, yeah, like I said, you were staying focused, you were staying diligent and focusing on what's at hand, right? And so until you got this vision, right? Until you got this vision from spirit, right? About this younger man, right? About this younger man that was that was that could have been the one gossiping about you, till you got this vision about this younger man who could have been the one gossiping about having some type of thrill with you on this adventure or something. Which could have been gossiping about having some type of thrill with you, right? Okay, the person, it's only a matter of time for the person who want to curse your life and this fake karmic, it's only a matter of time for the person that want to curse your life, for something get revealed about the person who wanted to curse your life and having something to do with this fake karmic attachment, right? Because both of these two was fighting over you, who was in the water, right? Of having these resources, wealth, and opportunities, right? And so, one of these two, right? Either this person that wanted to curse your life or this fake karmic attachment was fighting over you, right? Because this was unknown, right? That you had started this adventure, right? This was unknown, that you had started this adventure having to do with the unknown, right? And so the person that was fighting over you, right? One of these two, right? One of these two, this person who wanted to curse your life or this fake karmic attachment, right? Maybe it could have been both of them, right? They didn't see this coming, that you had the courage of wanting to take on this adventure, right? So one of these two was gossiping about having some type of thrill with you, right? While you were on this adventure, right? While you were on this adventure, right? Behind the scenes, right? You could have been doing this homicide behind the scenes, right? One of these two, right, was gossiping about having some type of thrill with you. And like I said, you didn't know that this person, you didn't know that one of these two, right? Either this person that wanted to curse your life or this fake karmic attachment, you didn't know that one of these two was gossiping about having some type of thrill with you on this venture, right? Because you were staying focused, you were staying diligent and focused on what was at hand, right? And so till spirit showed you something in a vision when it comes to this younger man, right? The spirit showed you something in a vision when it comes to this younger man, right? And, that you're gonna get your breakthrough from this vision about, right? Yeah, that you're gonna get your breakthrough from having this vision about, right? Cause see, yeah, that you're gonna get your breakthrough from what this vision was indicating, right? Cause see, this younger man, this younger man, this younger man, right? Either this younger man or this, okay, this younger man, right? He was the one that wanted to bind you to them, right? This younger man was the one, right? Was the energy that wanted to bind you to them and this fake karmic attachment. He was the one, right? He was the one at this meeting, right? That wanted to bind you to them. Meaning this him and this fake karmic attachment, right? right? And so spirit, right? Spirit, right? So spirit was warning you to stay away from these two, right? Spirit was warning you to stay away from this person, right? Spirit was warning you to stay away from this person, right? Spirit was warning you to stay away from this person that was fighting over you, right? Spirit was warning you to stay away from this person that was fighting over you, right? Spirit was warning you to stay away from this person that was fighting over you, right? Once you started this adventure, Spirit was warning you to stay away from this person that was fighting over you, right? Right? Cause the person, right? Cause this person that was gossiping about you, and and yeah, cause this person that was gossiping about going on this adventure with you, and how much of a thrill it was, right? This this was the one, right? This was the one that did this love spell, right? This was the one that did this love spell. Um, this was the one that did this love spell when it came to this homicide, right? The the one that was gossiping about you having some type of adventure with them. Yeah, the one that was gossiping about you and going on this adventure and having some type of thrill with you, right? Going on this adventure with you once you started, this field of homicide, right? And how much of a thrill it was, right? Being with you on this adventure, right? This was the one that did this love spell pertaining to this homicide, right? The person that was gossiping about having this adventure with you, and how, yeah, this was the one that did this love spell, right? This was the one that did this love spell pertaining to this homicide, right? This was the one that did this love spell pertaining to this homicide, right? Because this younger man, right? This younger man, right? That you gonna discover in this desert, right? He gonna be in bad health, right? He gonna be in bad health that you gonna discover in this desert or this dry light. This gonna be this younger man that you gonna discover, right? This gonna be this younger man that you gonna discover in this desert or this dry light area that's in bad health, right? From this older woman, right? From this older woman, right? From this older woman, right? That wanted to bind you to them, right? From this older woman that wanted to bind you to them, right? Because she was the fake karmic attachment, right? She was the fake karmic attachment, right? Who wanted to curse your life, right? Right? And tried to play you for a fool, right? So Spirit was warning you, and Spirit was warning you to stay away from this person, right? That was fighting over you, right? Spirit was warning you to stay away from this person that wanted to fight over, that was fighting over you, right? I got two cards here, right? Cause this was unknown, right? This was unknown, right? That she did this love spell, right? This was unknown, right? That she did this love spell pertaining to this homicide, right? And started gossiping about you and this adventure, right? And started gossiping about you having some type of adventure with her, and how much of a thrill y'all was having on this adventure, right? And so And so the reason why, and so when it comes to this younger man, right, that's in bad health, right, that you're gonna discover in this desert or dry land or something, dry like area, right? This younger man who in bad health, you use the energy who needs to be careful who you spend your time, money, and energy on, right? You are the one, right, that's in bad health. You the one, right, that's out here in bad health, right? Maybe, yeah. Okay, well, this not a deceased person then. This person that's out here in this dry land in bad health, right? This younger man is the one who needs to be careful who you spend your time, money, and energy on, right? Cause that's why you in bad health, because of this older woman, right? Because of this older woman. Because of this older woman, right? This older woman. This older woman, right? She wanted this male. She wanted this male, right? All to herself, right? She wanted this male all to herself, right? She wanted this male that, which is you collective, right? Who started this field of homicide. She wanted you all to herself, right? Cause she was the one who needs a job, right? She's the one who needs a job that's lazy, right? That's why she did something to this younger man and got him in bad health, right? Cause he could have been spending money on this older woman as well, right? And she did some type of spell work, right? To have this younger man in bad health, and who she wanted to bind, right? Was who this older woman wanted to bind, right? Who this fake karmic attachment wanted to bind, right? Was you, a collective, who took on this adventure of homicide, and this younger man, right? Who could have been also been spending money, right? On this older woman, cause she's the one who needs a job that's lazy, right? And so as this concludes, what caused this situation to occur, right? We're gonna pull 4 energy cards, right? To get what affected, right, these energies when it comes to this situation, right? Because see, when at the bottom of the deck for even shuffle, right, divine timing is at play when it comes to right? When it comes to this older woman, right, that was a fake karmic attachment who wanted to bind you, collective, and this younger man, right, who wanted to bind you and this younger man, right, to her, right? Because she need a job that's lazy, right? And did this young love spell. Did this love spell on this younger man and got him in bad health, right? Because she wanted you all to herself once she discovered, you taking on this adventure of homicide, having a successful, job, right? That's when she did this love spell. That's when she did this love spell on this younger man to have him in bad health, right? To have him in bad health. Because she just wanted to be with you who had this successful job and working in homicide, right? So she tried to get this younger man out the way, even though he could have been spending his time, money, and energy on this older woman as well, because she needed a job. She wanted this lazy, and was after, and apparently looking like she was just after money, right? So this older woman, right? This older woman is your enemy, right? This card says enemy. This older woman is your enemy. This the woman you need to watch your back when it comes to this older woman, right? Because she want to play you for a fool, right? She wanted to play you for a fool, collective, with this younger man, right? She wanted to play you for a fool, right? She wanted to play you for a fool during the time when, she wanted to play you for a fool till she discovered how much You know, you had landed in the water, right, with having these resources of wealth and opportunities, right? She wanted to play you for a fool once she, until she discovered how good you was doing, right? Landing in the water of having nothing but resources, wealth, and opportunities, right? And so, Spirit was warning you to stay away from this person, right? That want to play you for a fool, right? Right? Which was which was this woman, right? Which was this woman, right? That you was in some type of you could have been in some type of relationship with, right? Because she was full of toxicity, right? Because she was dealing with this younger man as well, right? Both of these two could have tried to, could have thought they were gonna play you for a fool, right? Both of these two, the older woman and this younger man, could have thought they were gonna play you for a fool, right? Once you got into the field of homicide, right? And so this was unknown, right? This was unknown to this was unknown to this was unknown, right? To the one that was gossiping about you, right? Which could have been this was unknown to the one that was gossiping about you, right? That this love spell, right, had got blocked, right? This was unknown. This was unknown, right? That this love spell that this woman tried to have these obstacles, right? This was unknown, right? That this love spell was gonna get blocked, right? This was unknown with the person that did this love spell, right? That this love spell was gonna get blocked once you started to feel the homicide. This was unknown that to this person that this love spell was gonna get blocked, right? Cause they tried to, cause a lot of obstacles once you got into the field of homicide, right? That's why this person was gossiping about you, which could have been this younger man. Which could have been this, which could have been this younger man as well, right? That was gossiping about not knowing that, not knowing that you had taken this older woman on this adventure with you, right? Which this younger man could have been gossiping about you as well, right? Because, this was unknown to him that you were dealing with this older woman as well, right? And so this love spell could have been meant for you. This love spell could have been meant for you, right? This love spell could have been meant for you, collective, but it got blocked, right? It got blocked, right? But it got blocked, right? And so, when it comes to you, right, you deal with all types of obstacles of the unknown, right? Right? You deal with all types of obstacles pertaining to the unknown, right? That's how this love spell got blocked, right? Once you started homicide, because you deal with, right, this type of field deal with all type of obstacles pertaining to the unknown. So this love spell wasn't gonna work on you, right? That's why this person, started gossiping about you taking them on some type of adventure, right? And they were having such a thrill, right? This older woman started gossiping about you taking her on this adventure, and she having such a thrill, right? Because you deal with all types of obstacles pertaining to the unknown, right? And so what's gonna happen, right? What's gonna end up happening, right? Right? You gonna start having regrets, right? What's gonna happen? What's gonna end up happening, right? You gonna start having regrets, right? Because, you're going to start having regrets, right? Once you discover this male in this desert, or in this area where it's dry land and stuff, you gonna start having regrets, right? About being with this woman, right? Once you discover this male out here in this desert, right? In bad health, right? He could be about to die, he could be about to die, or you don't discover him deceased, or he in bad health, about to die or something. This younger man, right? And that's what's gonna make you start having regrets, right? Because you could have been spending your time, money, and energy when it comes to this older woman as well, right? You gonna discover who was the reason, right? Or you gonna discover who was behind this younger man being in bad health, right? Which is this younger woman, right? Which is this younger woman, right? Who was his, bottom of the deck, who was his secret admirer, right? Who was his secret admirer, which is what gonna make you start having regrets, right? Cause you're gonna discover this male out here in this desert or this dry light area. He could be in bed, about to die, or clinging to life or something, Yeah, you gonna discover who this male is out here, right? That's in bad health. He could be about to die, right? Could be about to die, right? Right? And so, and so as this concludes, right? This concludes the end of this, as this concludes the end of this, message, right? We gonna pull, right, some zodiac signs, right? To see who this fake karmic attachment zodiac sign is, right? That want to curse, right? They want to curse your life, right? Bind you to them, right? Her and this younger man, right? Yeah, to spend your money up, right? Bind you to them, right? One of these two needed a job. They were lazy, right? Right? And so, this fake karmic attachment, she could be this Aries, or she gonna get upset, right? She gonna get upset once she, try to bind you to them. She gonna get upset. This older woman gonna get upset, right? And she could be this Aries, right? Who gonna get upset, because she want to bind you to them, right? We gonna get some zodiac signs today. Let's see. We gonna get some zodiac signs today. Let's get a zodiac sign for this fake karmic attachment, right? This younger man, right? Let's get it. All right. So this matter of time could get exposed during Leo season, right? When it comes to this fake karmic attachment, who want to bind you to them, right? Right? Who want to bind you to them, right? Right? This older woman was thinking she could get away with something at this meeting, right? Right? And she was the enemy, right? The older woman was thinking, right? Thinking about you, who could be the Gemini. She want to bind you to them, right? She was your enemy, right? You could be the Gemini, right? Cause she was your enemy, right? The older woman was your enemy, right? That you was in this karmic relationship with. The older woman was your enemy that you was in this karmic relationship with, right? Cause you who could be, the Gemini, right? Was in the water, right? You was in the water, right? Right? You was in the water, right? This could have happened during Virgo season, right? When you were looking good, right? Having all these resources of wealth, right? And that's why this younger man started looking on social media, right? Because he was in a common relationship with this older woman as well, right? Let's get a zodiac sign for him, right? 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 So, you know, he could have beat his Taurus, or right? He could be this Taurus, or was in Taurus energy, right? Being stubborn, right? When it came to both of y'all being in some type of karmic relationship with this older woman, right? And they started wanting to play you for a fool, collective, right? They started wanting to play you for a fool. They started wanting to play you for a fool, right? That's when they started playing you for a fool. So Spirit was wanting you to stay away from this person, right? Spirit was wanting you to stay away from this person, right? That's what Spirit was wanting you to stay away from this person, right? Right? Because, right? Spirit was wanting you to stay away from this person who could have been like, because what ended up happening, right? What could have ended up happening, right? Both of these two had got in devil energy, right? And started fighting over you, right? Started fighting over you when it came to your resources, right? Both of them two, this fake karmic attachment and this younger man, right? Had got in devil energy and started fighting over you because of your resources, right? Because of your resources, right? Right? That's why, you know, the one that was gossiping about you did some type of love spell, right? Once you started to feel a homicide, this person did some type of love spell, right? Unknowingly, right? That, you know, unknowingly, right? That, you know, you deal with obstacles of the unknown, right? You deal with obstacles of the unknown, right? So you could be this Scorpio, right? You could be this Scorpio who deal with obstacles when it comes to the unknown, right? And so that love spell won't gonna affect you, right? That love spell won't gonna affect you once you started this field of homicide. Right? That's why this person started gossiping about they had went on some type of event, they had went on this adventure with you and was having a thrill, right? Cause that love spell won't gonna work. That love spell won't gonna work because you deal with obstacles of the unknown. Right? So that love spell won't gonna work. That's how it got blocked, right? Alright? And so, you know, and so you could let it start having regrets, right? You started having regrets about dealing with this older woman, right? Because you discovered that, you know, that's the reason this male out here in some dry like area, in this desert like area, right? In bad health, right? Because she wanted to balance them out with you and this younger man, right? That's why Spirit showed you him in a vision, right? That's why Spirit showed you him in a vision, right? In this bad health, yeah, he could be about the, right? Yeah, he could, you know, with Cancer energy, right? He could be, you know, about to go off scene, right? That's why Spirit showed you in a vision this younger man, right? Right? That's in Cancer energy, you know. It could be about, you know, in bad health. It could be about to, you know, it could be about to, you know, be deceased, right? It could be, you know, about to die out here in this desert, right? And so those were the zodiac signs. Let's clear some energy blocks. I forgot to clear the energy block. And then we can close this message out, right? And what Spirit wants you to know, right? We can close this message out. And what Spirit wants you to know, right? You see, when it comes to this older woman who may be your enemy, right? This was something you didn't know, right? This was something you didn't know when it comes to this older woman, right? This was something you didn't know, right? That you was in some type of common relationship with her and this masculine, right? This was something you didn't know, right? That they both of these two was, you know, already full of toxicity, right? And so You know, the, the, okay, this current relationship, um, this man, right? This man, right? That was in this current relationship as well, right? This, this, this masculine, right? Who could have been this Taurus, right? That was in this current relationship with this older woman as well, right? This masculine could have went like both ways or something. He could have like did men and women's, right? That's why they were fighting over you, right? That's what I'm looking at, right? This masculine could have went both ways, right? That's why, right? These two had got in Capricorn energy, started fighting over you, right? Cause this male, right? This younger man, yeah, he could have went both ways, right? And they started wanting to play, when they started wanting to play you for a fool, right? Because they discover all your resources and wealth and things, right? They got in Capricorn energy wanting to play you for a fool, right? And yeah, right. That's why Spirit was warning you to stay away from this man, right? He went both ways, right? And being that he was in a karmic relationship with this woman, right? Both of these two want to play you for a fool, right? But with some type of love spell, right? Once you got in the field of homicide, right? But see, you who could be the Scorpio, you pull the energy block, right? Right? You who could be the Scorpio, right? Right? You know, right? You didn't want to be like bound to, right? You didn't want to be bound to anything but your field of work, right? You didn't want to be bound to anything but your field of work, right? That's how you block these obstacles, right? That's how you block these obstacles, right? With this person tried to do with this love spell, right? You didn't want to be bound to nothing but your field of work, right? That's how you block these obstacles, right? With the one that tried to do this love spell and started gossiping about they going on they was on this adventure with you and were having such a thrill and stuff, right? Oh, I gotta put one more energy block, right? And so what you started having regrets about, right? Because you could have been spending money, right? You could have been spending your time, money, energy, right? You could have started like you could have, collect. You could have you know, I mean, you could have been involved with, this man, this younger man and this woman. You could have started like dealing with both of them, right? Only you know that part, like a lady. You could have, this, you could be this masculine that was in this field of homicide. You could have started dealing with, you know, or you could have been just spending your, time. You could have started spending time with this younger man who went both ways. You could have started dealing with him. I don't know, like, yeah, you could have started dealing with him and this older woman. That's why you started having regrets, cause these were the mistakes of you wanting to balance them out with these two, right? Right? And so right? This could have been, when you having drinks with this masculine, right? You could have slipped some in your drink, right? That's how this end up happening with y'all too, right? I see the drink cup, right? This masculine younger man could have slipped some in your drink, right? You could have got the drinking with him, and y'all too. One thing led to another. That's what you could be having regrets about, right? You could have been drinking with this masculine. Maybe you start drinking with him, One thing led to another. Cause like I said, this masculine went both ways, right? He like men and women, so yeah. Maybe you got the drinking with this masculine, this younger man, right? Maybe you had a little too much to drink. One thing led to the one thing led to the next, right? Right? Only you know that part, right? Okay. And so as that concludes this, message collective, right? We're gonna close this message out. Right? We're gonna close this message out with what Spirit wants you to know, right? So by the something pertaining, 51 could be significant. Something pertaining to 51, right? By the end of the week, right? Something could get discovered by the end of the week. 51 could be significant. Maybe there's somebody's birthday, right? We're gonna close this message out. Close this message out with what Spirit wants you to know, right? Let me get a shuffle. I just need one card, please, Spirit, to close this message out. I just need one. There you go. Okay. So, December the 26th, right? Maybe some gonna get discovered, right? December the 26th, which could happen like by the end of the week in December. That's when this gonna get revealed, right? Some gonna get revealed, right? This could have happened, right? Okay. By the end of the week, right? By the end of the week, some gonna get discovered, right? Some gonna get discovered about what happened December the 26th. It could be significant. By the end of the week, something gonna get discovered about what happened December, possibly 26th. By the end of the week, something gonna get discovered about what happened December the 26th. Could be significant, right? And so, collective, that was the end of your message. And if this message resonated with you, I was glad to be the vessel used from Spirit to give you the confirmation that was needed to start your healing journey. And until we meet again, my loves, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe, and come by with the Empress J Tribe. I would love to have you as another returning Soul Tribe member. And until we meet again, my loves, on these wicked tarot streets, my beautiful kings and queens, stay blessed and take care.